Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to speak to Bill 27 and to the quiet but significant shift of power it represents, a bill that on the surface looks procedural, administrative, even harmless. But beneath its technical language, this bill reaches deep into two pillars of democracy: property rights and government transparency. I will speak very directly when it comes to my region that I have actually seen the effects of hidden transparency. When it comes to the effects of caribou protection in my region and transparency being hidden with the current government and how that was done and the consultation that happened with my region, when it finally did come out to the public, it caused mass confusion and a lot of problems. I urge this government to encourage transparency in the biggest way forward. Especially, I fully endorse First Nations and their cultural practices, and we have to learn about them. The best way to learn about them is to actually have them out in the open, so then people know about them, not hide them behind closed doors. I think that the truth is what people want to hear, and if it comes out at the last moment, after decisions already been made, that's where, in my region, that's where I saw a lot of racism come out, and it wasn't a nice thing to see. My first concern, Bill 27, repeals and rewrites Section 96 of the School Act. It now gives school boards and Francophone authorities the explicit power to acquire, hold, and expropriate land, not just for classrooms, but for staff housing, student housing, board offices, and outdoor facilities. That's a sweeping definition of educational purposes. This means that a school board with ministerial approval could take private land that someone's family has worked for generations, and call it educational. And the safeguard, a single minister's signature. The bill even states that the ministerial approval for the expropriation is not approval under the Expropriation Act, meaning it may bypass the very process that ensures notice, hearings, and fairness for affected landowners. Mr. Speaker, when the government rewrites laws to make it easier to take land, every British Columbia should pay attention. Because this isn't just about new classrooms, it's about state power over private property power that can be used or abused depending on who holds the pen. My second concern under this bill, the minister becomes the gatekeeper of local land decision. A school board can't expropriate without the minister's approval, but the criteria for that approval is nowhere to be found. No public list, no clear process, no right of appeal. That means decisions affecting entire communities can be made in Victoria behind a desk with no obligation to explain the reasoning. That's not oversight, that's control. We've seen this pattern before. Local decision-making eroded, provincial power expanded, and transparently, quietly replaced by ministerial discretion. Bill 27 also changes the Community Charter and the Vancouver Charter, expanding the reasons that city councils can meet in secret. It introduces new clauses that allow and require closed meetings when the discussions involve Indigenous entities or information harmful to Indigenous interests under FOIPPA. Now, reconciliation is important. Protecting sensitive cultural information is important. But if we start closing doors more often than we open them, we lose one of the cornerstones of democracy: public accountability. Municipal councils already struggle with the balance between privacy and transparency. This bill tips that balance too far. It normalizes secrecy. It creates a culture where closed becomes the default, not the exception. And what's more, it gives the cabinet the power to decide who qualifies as Indigenous entity. No clear definition, no published criteria, just regulation at the discretion of the cabinet. That's a dangerous level of ambiguity, because when the government decides who counts as government, it's already forgotten what democracy means. Put these two pieces together, new powers to expropriate land and new powers to close public meetings, and you start to see the architecture of quiet control. On their own, each change could be defended as administrative fine-tuning. Together, they point to a steady trend: less transparency, less accountability, and less respect for property rights. This government has made a habit of centralizing authority, of saying, trust us, we'll decide what's in the public interest. But democracy doesn't run on trust, it runs on transparency. When people lose the right to see what's happening behind the doors of power, or worse, when they lose the right to keep their own land, it's not progress, it's regression. Mr. Speaker, Bill 27 may not make headlines, but it should, because it quietly hands the government the tools to take land and to hide decisions. If this government truly values democracy, then it should be strengthening public safeguards, not removing them. It should be clarifying rights, not blurring them. It should be opening doors and not closing them. The people of British Columbia deserve better than backroom expropriations and closed-door councils. They deserve a government that operates in daylight. Thank you.